Hi everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome back to our YouTube channel, Bible Based Teens. Today is Sunday, January the 11th, and this is our new scripture verse for this week. And before I get started, I just want to say if you like the content of this channel, go ahead and like and subscribe so you can get our new content week after week. And don't forget, if you have any thoughts, place them in the comment section below so we can get the conversation started. So let's get to it. So our scripture verse for this week is going to be Jeremiah 29 verse 11. And the scripture reads, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." So this scripture was originally written in Hebrew in the Old Testament by the prophet Jeremiah, who's one of the major prophets, and he's often referred to as the weeping prophet. And that's because he was so upset about the idolatry of Israel and the social injustice that happened in Israel, which would ultimately lead to their captivity. So in the scripture, God is speaking directly to Jeremiah about Israel and their future, and also to us as believers. So breaking the scripture down, in the first part of the scripture, God is telling Jeremiah that he ultimately knows the plans that he has for us, and that God is speaking those plans over us. And in the second part of the scripture, God is going to give more details about those plans. Now, God doesn't go into specific details, but he does speak generally and tells us that the plans that he has for us are to prosper us, which means to add to us and not take away from us. He says he'll give us a hope, which is an optimistic feeling of confidence in the future, and a future, which means God's promise is enduring far beyond our present situation. And if we think about the promise that God gave to Abraham, which was to prosper him and give him descendants as numerous as the stars of the sky, we can see how God is echoing that particular covenant and promise through this scripture. So this scripture also really shows God's faithfulness to us, even when we're not faithful to him. Lastly, it's actually not only speaking to us as individuals, but also to an entire nation. God's plans, even extends far beyond us. It extends far beyond our neighborhoods, our cities. It extends to our entire nation. So this begs the question, do we really believe the promises of God that he's speaking over our lives? And are we being faithful to the things that God has called us to do? Some of the words in Hebrew that stood out to me were et hamashavat. And this comes from the root word hashav, which means to weave or fabricate. The Hebrew word shalom, which is translated to prosper, can also mean peace, welfare, wholeness, completeness. The Hebrew word asherit, which is translated as future, actually means positive unfolding future, and tikva means expectation or hope, and it's also symbolic of rope woven together from strands tightly, showing future strength. And so now this begs the question, do we truly believe that God is intricately weaving our future together to create a strong